Hello StarCraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is an Archon mode match between HyuN, MaSsan, Liquid Bunny, and ChanmanV on Ulrena. In the top left of Ulrena, we have the red Zerg team. It is HyuN and MaSsan. And in the bottom left of Ulrena, we have the blue Teran player. Representing, it is a Liquid Bunny and ChanmanV. Okay, so this is part of a replay pack that was sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com by somebody that watched a tournament held on twitch.tv/starcraft back on November 15th. It is an Archon mode tournament featuring several professional players. If you haven't watched the previous cast where I feature these players on my channel, go ahead and watch them. There will be a link to one in the right here under the eye. Go ahead and click it and you will see it. Alright, so in case you don't know what Archon mode is, it just means that two players are actually controlling one team here. So Liquid Bunny and ChanmanV are sharing the responsibilities of doing the macro, as well as the micro and scouting responsibilities for the Teran. And same thing over here, HyuN and MaSsan are working together to do the macro, the injects, as well as the scouting and the micro decisions for the Zerg player. So it really kind of helps to split up the responsibilities that way. It can be a good way to learn the game. If you're trying to teach somebody how to play StarCraft 2, you can hop into an Archon mode game with them. That way they don't have the full responsibility of doing everything, but they can have a lot of fun at the same time. So I recommend you give it a shot. If you haven't tried it before, go ahead and do that. So again, twitch.tv/starcraft, that is where this was held. And so possibly there will be future events there at the same time. So I recommend keeping an eye open for that. If I hear about any more, I will definitely announce them on my channel. But so far, I don't know of any in the future. Overlord getting a good scout off. This is actually a good map for Overlord Scout. And there is a Reaper coming out, so it's not even going to be able to kill this Overlord. This Overlord could sit here and scout for quite a while. It's getting into a position where it can't escape, just in case this is a Marine, because the Zerg player has no idea if this is a Marine or a Reaper. He's probably hoping it's a Reaper, and indeed it is a Reaper! Hooray! So the Overlord does not have to flee for its life, immediately coming back in to a better position to see exactly what happens with that barracks. Is there an add-on? I have to assume there's going to be an add-on based on that positioning. But no, a factory comes up instead and speeds on the way. So here comes the Reaper, going to get some harassment off. There are no workers to kill at this space. They're going to hop up into the main instead. The Reaper going to try to get the Lings pop out just in time. They are faster than this Reaper on creep, but off creep they are not. A bit of a whiff on that KD8 charge. KD8 charge explodes after a short delay, dealing 10 damage and knocking back units with a cooldown of 7. And this is some pretty good Reaper micro here. Hasn't really killed anything. Oh, the Lings getting some extra shots off as well. KD8 charge knocking those Lings back. Queen, oh, could have got some shots off, but chose to inject instead, which I can't really blame her for. Injects are a lot more important in this particular situation than getting a couple shots off on a single Reaper that isn't likely to do too much from this point on. Early lair coming up from HyuN and MaSsan. Look at that. Early lair, sub 3-minute lair. The Lings do not have speed yet. They can't really move out. Oh, they do have speed. Just finished. There we go. So they're going to run around here like crazy things, pushing on out. Do they actually... No, speed was skipped. I was going to say, I thought I saw it up there, but no, there is no speed for these Lings at all. That's a big tell. Actually, for the Teran player, it probably means there's going to be a Roach Ravager attack because there aren't many Lings usually in that type of an attack. And why spend the gas on Ling speed if you're not going to have many Lings? That is a question that has been asked more than once, and I don't really have an answer for it. Indeed, there's that Roach Warren coming up. That lair means the Ravager attack is on the way. Will Liquid Bunny and ChanmanV be ready to handle this? They have a bunker at the front. They're walling off with a supply depot, getting tanks. Tanks are a pretty good answer to this as well, although siege tanks are good sitting duck targets for that corrosive bile ability that Ravagers have. If you haven't seen it before today, you're going to see it soon, because I can pretty much guarantee you... Oh, wait. Nidus network popping up. A Nidus attack. Marine shooing away this Overlord. Overlord should be able to have enough space to see the vision required to drop the other end of that Nidus network and stay out of the range of that Marine. Is there another position they might want to place it? Perhaps right here? A good spot for a Nidus as well. Out of the range of the Teran vision, but right on top of that natural base. And here comes a huge Marine drop. Gonna try to drop here in the main. How many roaches are there? 3 roaches? 4 or 5 total roaches now. That should be enough to handle this drop, assuming the roaches are still here. Assuming they don't go into that Nidus network. No, they are ready and waiting. They saw the drop coming. Here comes the Nidus, and a bunch of Lings and Queens are here, getting right on top, forcing a pickup and a liftoff. Going to try to drop here as well. Nope, there are roaches ready for him. And does the Nidus finish? It's very close to finishing. Do they see it? Oh, there are tanks on the low ground doing target firing and everything, but there are roaches. There are Queens popping out as well, transferring SCVs, taking splash damage from the tanks, also taking hits directly from these Roaches. This is a mass queen play here. Roaches just killing everything they can. The Marines trying to focus down those queens as well. Transfuses are going down. I don't see any transfuses. They don't know if they have enough energy for it. They don't. Another Nidus worm pops up here. Gets focused down immediately, though. Only a few Roaches come out, and now they have no way to get home. They're just trying to kill a bunch of workers as best they can, and they're actually doing a fairly good job of it. Surprisingly, killing. Can they get that Reaper kill? They get a Reaper kill, which is all right, but eventually the Reaper, gets a, stayed alive a little bit longer than necessary. So let's look at the resources lost after that engagement. 1,700 minerals, 487 gas lost for the Zerg player, only 1,000 minerals and 150 gas lost for the Teran, but the Teran did lose 14 SCVs. Let's not discount that. So that attack I don't think went very well for the Zerg team of HyuN and MaSsan. Liquid Bunny and ChanmanV were ready for it. They had the tanks out with the siege mode. They had Marines. They pulled some SCVs when necessary. They lost some workers, but at the same time, again, Zerg lost a lot of stuff there too. So it's 44 to 32 total harvesters. A third base is on the way. Won't be there for a while though. It's a bit of a vulnerable time right now for the Zerg team. Did they lose all their queens in that engagement? Oh goodness, how many queens did they lose? 4 total queens died in that attack. That was kind of an all-in if we look at it. Oh boy, which means this queen has not been injecting for a long time. There's no queen over here either. I guess this queen is injecting, has enough energy, not to really do 2 injects at this point, but that's a-okay. Overseer scouts right on in, sees a lot of Marines and a lot of tanks. This is the standard play we've been seeing from Teran players. Blizzard actually put out a post about a week ago that said we've been seeing a lot of tank play with the medevac drops going up against Zerg and Protoss players. The thing about tanks before is they weren't very mobile. They had to unsiege and re-siege, but now with the ability of the medevacs to pick up a siege tank and drop it, they are so much more mobile than before and maybe a little bit too powerful. So they're considering making a change to where picking up the tank unsieges it, and then when you drop it, it automatically sieges again. So it's a little bit faster than it used to be, requires a little bit less micro, but at the same time, I'm not sure Teran players would be too happy with it. We'll have to see if they decide to make that change or not. Ravagers are here, no upgrades at all on these Ravagers, but they do very, very well against this particular composition. Corrosive Bile does 60 damage, which is enough to one-shot a Marine and splash damage as well. So kill a bunch of Marines. Corrosive Bile as well can be shot from a large range and can be seen and is easy to dodge, but if you're stationary like a siege tank, it is actually very hard to dodge. Big drop coming up, all Marines it looks like indeed. Heading to the main base. Was there an Overlord scout on that? There was not. Oh boy, boosting in here. And the Roaches and the Ravagers show up anyway. These Marines are no match for it at all. The Corrosive Bile is trying to get those. Medevacs can't quite pick it up. Medevacs are forced to retreat after doing not much damage at all. This is what separates pro players from non-pro players, is the ability to sniff out drops like that and shut them down before they get too out of hand. Roach at the Zalnaga Watchtower ends up dead. A couple of Marines might stay here to hold it for the time being. Creep spread looking alright. Are they coming in here actually? Wow, yes, Corrosive Bile on a tank, killing a tank. Almost killing another one. That was a pretty quick little sniper attack. Standing in Marine and Marauder, not a good choice, buddies. Get on out. Now make note here, Ravagers are not armored units. They are biological, which means they don't take extra damage from Marauders, which means they are really good against Marine Marauder type compositions like this, as well as tanks. Tanks do extra damage to armored at the same time. So here they come. Corrosive Bile being thrown down. Whiff. That's okay. It forced the army back. That was more a positioning choice than anything else. Spire coming up from the Zerg team, and +1 Carapace as well as speed for those Lings. So a little bit late, but they are going to get it. Meanwhile, continued production here as a small push comes up of Marines and Marauders. +1 armor for the infantry being researched. Corrosive Bile, actually killing a Marine there and then whiffing there entirely. So again, this is such a narrow choke to come out of. If the Ravagers have a good concave, it's kind of a scary place to go for the Teran army. That's so weird about this map, is this narrow choke on both ends. Coming out of that is just a terrifying proposition. You're kind of single file coming out, and you're worried about just getting massacred as you come in. So that's why the Teran player is not really being too aggressive. Might move their tanks up to this high ground, though. Oh, they are going to go for it here. Dropping the tanks on the low ground. Excellent mobility, but there are Ravagers and Roaches coming right on in. Corrosive Bile on top of everything, crushing a lot of those Marines, but stimming on in, stimming forward, allowing the medevacs to heal them through. The Roaches and Ravagers are forced to retreat. Another big attack here, going on to the mineral line now. Corrosive Bile whipping their queen on the high ground, trying to kill a tank by her lonesome, actually forcing that tank to move there. Kind of interesting. Corrosive Bile's being dodged once again. Bio units are just so good at dodging that corrosive bile ability. There are very few Ravagers and Marines here left, but it's enough to force a full retreat of these drones. A couple roaches come on in. They try to focus down the weakened tank. They do get that. That's a nice thing for the Zerg player. These roaches coming... Oh, they managed to get another tank as well. So, all that's left are these few Marines and Marauders. No reinforcements are actually coming down. There's a roach causing some problems back here as well. That might have been keeping the attention here. Roaches from all sides, Ravagers as well, causing corrosive biles to be thrown down. And they're going to kill all of these ground units. It looks like they are. Going to get picked up and run away. No, because reinforcements are coming up. But the roaches do have the advantage on this section of the ground with the +1 armor, making them a little bit more difficult to kill. It is +1/+1, however, for these bio units. Tank setting up again at its favorite location, getting a big hit on those roaches before I think it gets melted by these burrow move roaches. As the scan comes up, though, a lot of the roaches die before they get out of the range of that scan. They're going to head down for some more harassment. +1 melee attack on the way. The action is non-stop here. Marines and Marauders getting in here once again, forcing another retreat of these drones. So many workers have been killed. This oppression from the Teran player is just incredible. The roaches actually come up and get a tank kill. Nice job by them. The Marines and Marauders are continuing their work of destruction, getting another roach. They might want to get this Spire. Instead, going after workers. Right now, 33 drones have been killed. It is 24 drones to 42 SCVs. This is an onslaught. It's been going on for what feels like 5 or 10 minutes. The Teran player's just been sitting here with a small group of Marines and Marauders. HyuN and MaSsan have been unable to get up an army enough to deal with this. And that's it. The GG comes out from HyuN. HyuN has left the game. Does MaSsan want to stand in here and try to win it all by himself? We do see that sometimes in Archon mode games, but this army is just looking so strong right now. Production tab showing all Teran all the time. Pushing out our some medevacs just to assist with the healing on these units. ChanmanV calls out an offensive GG, and that's it. MaSsan with the GG. HyuN and MaSsan are defeated. Liquid Bunny and ChanmanV are your victors. Are victorious. The Teran team has left the game. The caster of this original match has left the game, and that is it for us today. Wow, so there we go. A pretty back and forth. Teran versus Zerg. That initial attack with the Nidus Swarm I just don't think went well enough for the Zerg to really be worth it. We saw the difference in that army supply. We saw the difference in the resources lost after that attack. It did not favor the Zerg at all. 10,000 minerals, 3,000 gas lost for the Zerg, 6,300 minerals, 1,600 gas lost for the Teran. 33 workers died for the Zerg player and 16 SCVs. I think most of that was in that initial attack. Really didn't lose anything after that point. So 2-base Teran, huh? Looking pretty tough. Actually planning to land here at the gold. I haven't seen anybody do that yet. Liquid Bunny and Chanman were about to, but didn't quite pull it off before the game ended. But they won, so no big deal. Alright, so this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /FalconPaladin. Very easy to remember. You may also visit my store. There's a link in the description of this video. And also at the end when the music is playing, you can click that little red button to get there as well. And until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.